afternoon. It is Friday 13th of November. Excuse me. It's just gone 2:30 in the afternoon and we're out here on Hampstead Heath to really get a look at the autumn colours. Let me zoom in on this tree for you. Yeah, check that out. It's pretty nice. And we'll check some more in closer detail. I reckon there's probably 10 days, 14 days left, and then I think the trees will be bare, so it's really just a last chance to check out the colours for 2020. Trying to see which tree is worth looking at in further detail. You can see this one as we're walking up here is almost bare now. That's the first to go, but over there a bit more colour. I think the temperature now is about 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit, maybe a degree or so warmer. It seems to be the same temperature now for well over a week, so each day pretty similar.
We actually went again today.
Was expecting some rain today, but in fact it's very similar conditions to yesterday. I think for the weekend it's supposed to be wet, so I thought I'd do a bit of recording this afternoon. Yeah, let's get a look at the colours over there. I'll zoom up for you. Yeah, beautiful russets, and look at that. Let's go up here. This is a fairly large park known as Hampstead Heath, and it's right in the middle of North London. Very popular, all kinds of activities, picnics, dog walking, cycling, jogging, kite flying. In the summer, sunbathing. There's also some open air wild swim pools, so people do go in for that. I have been in the ponds just once, and I can say that the water is extremely cold but extremely refreshing, so you want to try a very hot, humid London July afternoon. Imagine the temperature is over 30 Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit, and get yourself down to the ponds in Hampstead and you will get a very refreshing swim. The water is pretty dark, pretty murky, but it's like silk. I mean, you go in and it's just such a bracing swim. There's several warnings about picking up ear infections from bacteria within the water, so if you're a bit delicate, you might want to think about that. The reason I haven't been a regular swimmer at those ponds is because, bizarrely, there's no changing room as such, no lockers. So if you're coming here by yourself, then you're at risk. I guess if you don't want to get your items stolen, your phone, your wallet, and your house keys. But even more so than that, you certainly don't want to come out from a great swim in your swimming trunks and find all your clothes have gone. That would be my worry. It's pretty unlikely, but who knows? Has it happened? If you ever heard of this, please let me know. Where should we go? I just want to show you some colourings over here. We go over here. Yeah, look at that beautiful yellows, oranges there. As I said, I reckon there's probably just another 10-14 days, and then there won't be any anything at all. So let's press on here. What can I tell you about the various London parks? There's a lot to take in. This is a medium to large sized park, and it's, as I said, it's in North London, known as Hampstead Heath. I've done a couple of videos on Hampstead Village, which adjoins part of the park. It's a literary area. I think there's a fair number of writers have lived here in the past, but just have a look at that. That is a fine specimen. I'm going to zoom out there. There you go. So there's this park in the north of London. In central London, you've got several of the what's known as royal parks. So that would include Hyde Park, Kensington Gardens, St James's Park, Green Park, Regent's Park. In East London, there's Victoria Park, where I was yesterday. Didn't record there. And then in southwest London, the final one of the so-called royal parks is called Bushy Park, and I went there twice earlier in the year. Had a picnic, did some sunbathing. Bushy Park is absolutely huge. It's large open parkland with plenty of old trees, and the defining feature is probably the wild deer that live there. You've got two parks. You've got Richmond Park and you've got Bushy Park, and then they're next to each other, and they both have several groups of wild deer there.
Oh, you want to treat?
So they're great photo opportunities, but I have seen people do some pretty stupid things, such as get very close to the deer, and apparently they can give you a whack with the antlers, the male deer. If it has happened, if you rub them up the wrong way, shall we say. So better to just take some photos, but don't attempt to feed them. So we're walking down this rather impressive wide tree-lined avenue. Just give you a look at these colours there. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
As well as the London parks, you've got what are also known as commons, which are less tree cover, more open. They originally were set up for sort of public use. I think in not opposition, but in as an opposite to the royal parks. I mean, the commons are very much a place where local working activities would take place. Whereas with the royal parks, there's a number of rules and restrictions, apparently, and well, not apparently, there is, but I think there's a few historical and bizarre regulations connecting to what you can and can't do with the wildfowl or the bird life, particularly swans. I think it used to be a hanging offence to kill a swan or whatever. That animal being apparently crown property or the Queen's property. There's some fabulous dogs out walking, so if I get a chance I'll zoom in, show you that. For a while, I think last year, a couple of years ago, I was hearing about this project or this idea of creating or of having London as the first national park city. In why London? Well, because in recognition of the fact that it has a great number of green spaces. So there was this idea, and I was trying to find a map of if there was such a thing. I think at the moment it only exists on online and different as part of different project stages. There's nothing printed yet, and I've not seen anything in any guidebooks sort of firmly confirming exactly the makeup of that national park city. But I think it's a great idea. How it will be possible to connect the most important green spaces without having to leave one of them and go into town or get onto a train is a question.
That's the eldest daughter's daughter. She's the one
Running alongside this, London is trying to really improve the cycle situation. So it's controversial because to create these so-called cycle superhighways, they've had to narrow the width of some of the roads, and it has caused some congestion and also some delays to the traffic. If you can imagine, say a three lane wide highway, and then it loses a lane because one of them then becomes a cycle path. So some controversy, but I think in the future you won't have cycles and motor vehicles sharing the same space. So I think people will look back and they'll say, or they'll be surprised that the beginning of the 21st century, people were still cycling on roads and cars were still driving on with cyclists. So we're coming out of the heath now, and I will show you a brief look at the residential district that adjoins the heath.
See if you can translate.
The housing here is is quite expensive, so you do need a bit of money to be able to live here. But show you that street light. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know I have a thing for the light, or the lamps and the lights. And then have a look. It's really muddy today. You can see mud, and I'll show you. Those are my boots, and they're not too bad actually. The main thing is that no water leaks in. If you've had a leaking shoe or boot, you'll know that's a bit uncomfortable. So we're going to just check out this quiet, peaceful, literary corner of North London. And just look at the detail on that porch. That's great, isn't it? Yeah, quite a few of these houses would have a circular blue plaque, and that would indicate that a famous person has lived there. So you'll see these all across London, but particularly in Hampstead area. Look at that light. And check this old-fashioned water feature. It's pretty nice. Swing round up here. Well passage. Yes, so these circular blue plaques, as I said, indicate that a writer has lived there, or not just a writer. I mean, it's often a famous scientist, former statesman, could be explorer, basically anyone that's done something notable that's caught a national recognition. Seen my 2 Hampstead at night videos, then some of this terrain may look familiar. I'm not sure if I walk down this particular road or not. I can review that. Each day now it's, oh hang on, here's an example of what I was saying. Daphne du Maurier, famous novelist, lived here for 2 years. Yeah, what I was going to say is each day now it's getting dark just a little bit earlier. So it was about 4:20. I think it's going to be 4:15 this evening. Although if it's wet and dark, then it's obviously it feels darker earlier. Hampstead is one of the few places where I've seen some very old vintage cars, not just by the side of the road, but actually people actually driving them. When I say vintage, I mean sort of classic 1960s and maybe even 50s British sports cars or models of various car models. Yeah, the other day I was here and I was not recording, but a stunning little car drove past. Looked a bit like the mini metro, but it wasn't. It had an odd shape that I've not seen before. Like these distinct street plates. And there's another plaque just here. We'll just see who this is. And it is someone called Newman Hall. So we're coming out to the high street here, so going to end the video now. So thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, hit the likes button, leave some comments, good or bad. Thanks again. Bye bye.